Welcome to News Beacon, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. The humid air of Cagayan province buzzed with anticipation as a C-130 Hercules thundered down onto the tarmac of Lao Lo Air Base. Once, this was just a sleepy provincial airstrip known only to locals and a handful of pilots. Now it was about to become the center of something much larger, a new chapter in the region's story. The rear ramp of the aircraft lowered with a mechanical whine, and U.S. Marines, engineers, logistics specialists, and communications experts stepped out into the bright Philippine sun. Their boots hit the ground with purpose, marking the beginning of a mission that would reshape not just the base, but the community around it. Their mission was clear: transform this remote outpost into a modern forward operating site. This wasn't about preparing for war, but about building and strengthening alliances, fostering cooperation, and ensuring stability in a region facing new uncertainties. Lao Lo's strategic location is no accident. Perched at Luzon's northern tip, it sits near the Luzon Strait, a vital maritime corridor for global trade and military movement, and uncomfortably close to Taiwan, a flashpoint in the Indo-Pacific. The arrival of these troops marked a quiet but profound shift in the region's geopolitical landscape. It was a subtle signal to allies and rivals alike that the balance of power was evolving. For the people of Lao Lo, the return of Americans brought a mix of curiosity and hope. Some saw the promise of economic growth, new jobs, and improved infrastructure. Others felt a hint of unease, wondering what changes this new presence might bring to their peaceful town. Vendors quickly set up stalls along the roadside, sensing opportunity in the influx of foreign troops and support staff. Yet, beneath the surface, some locals worried about being caught in the crosshairs of global rivalries, uncertain about what the future might hold. The soldiers understood that their work was about more than just construction. Every task, every handshake with local workers was a message, a renewed U.S. commitment to the Philippines and to the broader Indo-Pacific region. Every structure built under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, cemented an alliance and signaled strategic intent. These new facilities were not just buildings but symbols of partnership and shared security. The transformation of the base promised tangible benefits for the region: improved infrastructure, increased investment, and a sense of security. But it also placed Lao Lo on a new geopolitical fault line, making it a focal point in the contest for influence in Asia. As the sun set over the airfield, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the work was just beginning. The sense of purpose was palpable, and the stakes had never been higher. International news crews set up their cameras, satellite dishes pointed skyward, capturing every development. The world's attention was now fixed on this once quiet corner of the Philippines. The quiet arrival at Lao Lo was more than just a military maneuver, it was a signal to the world. As dawn broke over the base, it was clear that Lao Lo had stepped onto the global stage, and everyone was watching to see what would happen next. Lao Lo Air Base is more than just a military outpost. It's a strategic pivot point in the Indo-Pacific, serving as a crucial node in the evolving security landscape of the region. Its location is not accidental, it's a deliberate choice that reflects the shifting priorities of both the United States and its allies. Its proximity to Taiwan and the Luzon Strait gives the U.S. a rapid response hub for air, sea, and surveillance operations, allowing for quick mobilization in times of crisis or heightened tensions. This closeness means that any developments in the Taiwan Strait or South China Sea can be monitored and addressed almost immediately. Overlooking a key maritime choke point, the base allows the U.S. to monitor and, if needed, control vital shipping lanes that are essential for global commerce. The ability to oversee these routes is a powerful tool in maintaining the free flow of trade and deterring potential blockades or disruptions. This presence complicates Beijing's military planning and reinforces the security of global trade routes, making it harder for any single power to dominate the region's critical waterways. It sends a clear message that the U.S. and its partners are committed to upholding international norms. For the Philippines, hosting U.S. forces boosts defense and deters coercion in the South China Sea, strengthening its own security posture and providing reassurance to its citizens and neighboring countries. For Washington, it reassures allies and signals a commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific, demonstrating that the U.S. is willing to invest resources and maintain a visible presence in support of regional stability. Unlike Cold War-era bases, Lao Lo is designed for flexibility, rotational deployments, not permanent garrisons. This approach allows for adaptability, making it easier to scale operations up or down as the situation demands. Its value lies in the options it gives U.S. and Philippine commanders in a crisis, enabling them to respond to a range of scenarios, from humanitarian assistance to high-stakes military contingencies. The base is a key piece on the region's geopolitical chessboard, shaping the calculations of both friends and rivals, and influencing the balance of power across the Indo-Pacific. Its significance is measured not in troop numbers but in strategic leverage, the ability to project power, reassure partners, and deter adversaries, all from a single, well-placed location. The U.S.-Philippines military relationship is rooted in a century of shared history, from colonial times to World War II. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty formalized their alliance, pledging mutual support in case of attack. During the Cold War, massive U.S. bases at Clark and Subic projected power but also sparked nationalist resentment. In 1991, the Philippine Senate ended the bases agreement and U.S. forces withdrew. But new threats, terrorism and China's assertiveness, revived cooperation. The 1999 Visiting Forces Agreement and the 2014 Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, brought U.S. troops back for joint exercises and facility upgrades. Lao Lo's development under EDCA marks a new era, a partnership of sovereign nations adapting to shifting realities. The alliance is now defined by flexibility, shared interests, and a focus on regional stability. The relationship has evolved, but its core, mutual security, remains. The U.S. move to develop Lao Lo is a calculated response to China's military rise and growing regional assertiveness. As Beijing expands its influence and military reach across the Indo-Pacific, Washington is recalibrating its posture to maintain a balance of power and reassure its allies. The Philippines, with its strategic location, has become a focal point in this evolving contest. Traditional U.S. bases in Japan and Guam, once considered safe havens, are now within striking distance of advanced Chinese missiles. This vulnerability has prompted a major shift to a distributed strategy, favoring smaller, scattered, and more resilient sites that are harder to target and can adapt quickly to changing threats. Lao Lo is emerging as a crucial new node in this expanding network, enhancing both the survivability and operational flexibility of U.S. forces. By diversifying its footprint, the U.S. can better respond to crises and complicate any adversary's planning. Tensions over Taiwan have made this location even more critical. Lao Lo offers rapid deployment options in a crisis, allowing U.S. and allied forces to respond swiftly to any escalation in the region. Its proximity to flashpoints like the Taiwan Strait increases its strategic value. The urgency behind these moves reflects Washington's growing concern that the window to deter conflict is narrowing. U.S. officials are racing against time to strengthen deterrence and prevent miscalculation before tensions boil over. Political alignment in Manila has also enabled this shift. President Marcos Jr. has taken a firmer stance against Chinese encroachment, seeking closer U.S. ties and greater security cooperation. This marks a significant change from previous administrations. The revival of the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, is a direct product of this convergence of interests, providing a legal and political framework for deeper military collaboration. The U.S. is acting decisively while Philippine political will is strong, moving quickly to secure its strategic position for the future and to build infrastructure that will support long-term cooperation. In the end, Lao Lo is both a response to immediate threats and a long-term investment in regional security, signaling a new era of U.S. engagement and commitment in Southeast Asia. To China, the U.S. base at Lao Lo is a provocative act of encirclement, not defense. Beijing sees it as part of a broader U.S. strategy to contain China along the first island chain: Japan, Taiwan, the Philippines. The base's proximity to Taiwan and the Luzon Strait alarms Chinese leaders, who fear U.S. control over vital maritime gateways. Chinese officials condemn the move, warning it emboldens Taiwan and raises the risk of conflict. They argue the base threatens China's economic lifelines and could enable a blockade in a crisis. Beijing's response: sharp criticism, veiled threats, and pressure on Manila to reconsider. For China, Lao Lo is an unacceptable intrusion and a direct challenge to its ambitions. The new U.S. base in the Philippines is reshaping Asia-Pacific security. Allies like Japan and Australia welcome it as a sign of U.S. resolve, strengthening the First Island chain and regional deterrence. But ASEAN nations are wary. Some fear being caught between superpowers, others worry about escalating tensions. The base enhances U.S. and Philippine maritime awareness, potentially leading to more confrontations with China in disputed waters. It could also provoke Beijing to further militarize the South China Sea. The risk of miscalculation is rising, marking a shift from post-Cold War stability to open strategic competition. Every country in the region now faces tough choices about security and economic ties. The era of balancing between U.S. security and Chinese trade may be ending. Lau Lo is not just a base, it's a catalyst for a new regional order. The strategic realignment is underway, and the stakes are higher than ever. With Lau Lo operational, the U.S.-China rivalry is entering a new phase. The U.S. will ramp up joint exercises with the Philippines, rotate advanced assets through EDCA sites, and deepen regional alliances. Washington will frame its presence as stabilizing, seeking support from allies and partners like Japan, Australia, Vietnam, and India. Diplomatic messaging will cast China as a revisionist power, while the U.S. claims to uphold international law. China will respond with military, economic, and political pressure on Manila, more patrols, trade threats, and disinformation. Beijing aims to raise the cost of U.S. cooperation for the Philippines and may seek its own regional bases. The result, an escalating cycle of deployments and counter-deployments, making the region more tense and militarized. The strategic chess match is intensifying with no end in sight. For the Philippines, expanded U.S. access is a high-stakes gamble. The U.S. alliance offers security against Chinese pressure in the West Philippine Sea, where the Philippine military is outmatched. The Marcos Jr. administration sees EDCA as essential for defending sovereignty and maritime rights. But hosting U.S. forces revives old fears: over-reliance, loss of independence, and the risk of being drawn into a U.S.-China conflict. Domestic opposition is strong, and economic ties with China are vital. Manila must balance security with Washington and trade with Beijing, compartmentalizing its foreign policy. Whether this delicate act can succeed remains uncertain. The Philippines walks a tightrope, with its future hanging in the balance. Lau Lo is more than a regional outpost, it's a global flashpoint. The base marks a major realignment in international security, creating a new front in the U.S.-China rivalry. It's about the future of the international order, freedom of navigation, respect for law, and national sovereignty. The South China Sea is a commercial artery. Any conflict here would disrupt global trade and economies. Lau Lo is meant to deter instability, but it also raises the stakes for escalation. The U.S.-Philippines alliance under EDCA is a test case for modern security partnerships. Its outcome will influence how other nations navigate great power competition. Lau Lo is where competing visions for Asia's future collide. The world is watching. What happens here will echo far beyond the Philippines.